All right, all right. Hi again. This is Ermina, and welcome to day 7 of my movement practice journal. Okay, day 7 is definitely a good day to share because I got a lot to say. Day 11 is probably when I had this major epiphany that's going to contradict some of what I said earlier. And I love that. That means I am changing. Not the deeper me, but the layers are coming off. And I'm so happy about that. But let's go into day 7. So make sure you go to day 11 as well and watch that. Okay, what action did I take? It was another simple 20-minute walk. It always ends up being 25 minutes because my intention is to tell myself, just do 20 minutes, just do 20 minutes. And then that way I do a little bit more and I'm like, ah, you did. It's like, oh, great job. Um, I can give myself a pat on the back for doing a little bit more. And by the way, I used to run, hike for, you know, a lot longer. So to be starting at 20, it's part of me honoring where I am now, you know. Um, and I used to tell clients this when I was training clients. It's okay to be here, even though you remember your body being there. I think I have, I don't think, I have a letting go video about being able to separate the previous aspect of ourselves from the current aspect so that we can move forward without spending so much time beating ourselves up in the process. Notice I said ourselves because I used to do that a lot. So what action I did was a 20-minute walk. And the main struggle for day 7 was to continue, even though I didn't want to finish it, you know. Um, Day 7, it actually, there were some days in between where it rained and I still went out for a walk. That's another strategy that I've learned is I have a really nice raincoat. I got a quality raincoat. I've got rain shoes. In other words, shoes that won't I won't get upset if they're wet. I did not have rain pants, so I had water on all the way up to my leg. It was raining, not like a little. It was like pouring rain. But um, once I'm committed, I tend to be okay to do things during some difficult times because I know that's part of the process. Like do it on a rain day. It wasn't thundering lightning. That I probably would not do. Um, but it was pouring rain. Um, and that was not day 7. I was just kind of filling in some blanks there. That kind of discourages me sometimes. It's like I think it might have rained on day 5 or 6. I can't remember. And then I had to get out on day 7, and I was like, ugh. It just something about that was a bit discouraging for me. But I just had to push through the discouragement. And here's a big one: to continue to observe myself rather than either judging or thinking I'm ahead of where I really am. Big one for me. Like day 7 is only 7, It's not day 70. It's not day 77. It's not day 170 or 700. It's day 7. It is the beginning. It is literally not even the caps. Uh, can't think of the word. But just showing up and not judging myself and not being difficult. So that there were times I was like, "Oh, why did you stop moving? You know how hard it is to keep, to restart. Why did you stop?" And some of that came up for me. But one of the things that meditation has helped me a lot with. I've been meditating since I was 18 years old. So I've been meditating for decades. And it was even early in 18. It was around that age. And one of the things meditation has helped me is I have learned when to let thoughts just come in and go out. Like I don't stop it and be like, oh, let's chat about this one. It was like, okay, fine, I get it. I sometimes judge myself. Go. Keep it moving because I got things to do, places to go. Uh, okay, I wasn't that dramatic with it, but the point is to keep it moving. I didn't feel any fatigue because I'm not trying to operate at a condition level. I'm operating at someone who is getting herself back. So if you're doing something like that, that helps. Um, I'll give another example. I remember one time I was working, this is many, many decades ago. I was working with a client who had severe, very overweight, severe issues. And part of her walking practice was to just get back out there. And she went back out there for a while, and we would discuss this. And she's like, I can't do this anymore. It's just too painful. And I was like, okay, what we've done everything. I've talked about this, da, da. And the bottom line, it turned out to be her shoes. Okay. She was wearing a pair of shoes that made her feet like supinate, like really supinate, and which is when you walk outside of when you're walking like this, right? And as a result, knee problems, and as a result, hip problem. As a result, shoulders, and then next thing you know, your whole body is like out of whack. And thank goodness we figured out she needed to go to an orthopedic doctor and get some inserts made so she can, and then good shoes so that better shoes for what she needed so that she can actually use walking shoes versus just any old shoe that she sneaker that she had around. So I share that to say if you're going through something like this, think sometimes it could be as simple as getting the right. Doesn't mean go and buy a bunch of shoes. Make sure you're getting the right shoe for you, for your body, okay, where it is at this time, and that shoe could change in a year or two. That type of shoe, you could need something different later on. Our bodies change, and the other thing is, some of us do better barefoot. I don't walk barefoot outside at this time, but I used to. There was a time I loved walking barefoot. I walk barefoot everywhere else, and that helps me with, because I have a super high arch on my foot, that helps me with restabilizing the rest of my body by walking barefoot. So that could be something, a strategy you can use. Anyway, I didn't want to teach. Let me move on about my experience. Um, the main practice resistance for me this time around was time. On it began to creep in now that you got stuff to do. How do you get everything done today and do that? And I'm like, 20 minutes. Why is this such a big issue for me? On day seven, I didn't dive deep into it. I did on day 11. You'll get more on day 11 about that. So the emotional resistance that began had to do with just um, figuring out how this practice is going to stabilize in my life. That is to me a form of living in the future. Like, I needed to just stay where I was. I'm walking, just walk, versus my mind is starting to wonder, well, how am I going to fit this when I'm back to, my regular um, schedule with work? How am I going to fit this in when I'm doing this? How am I, da, da, da? And it's like, okay, move on. So those were the challenges. Staying present with the process, in the process. I'm going to slow down on this one because that was the big thing for me on day seven, staying present with the process, in the process, rather than 6 months from now, 3 months from now. How am I going to integrate this in my blah, 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 blah? This is, I can see this problem, that problem, but it's staying in the process. What made me want to continue, I think if I was never healthy, this may not be the same thing, or had flexibility and mobility at the level the range that I'm used to. What motivated me is like, I'm so outside of my range right now. It was like, you got to get back inside that range. I don't want you to make a new range that's outside of the old range. Let's get back in the range of mobility, flexibility, agility, um, etc. Notice I haven't mentioned weight management at all. This whole process, I'm talking about movement because after years and years and years and working with people and different people, here's what I learned: the weight management follows. If I focus on the weight management, I forget the part that gets me there. That's me. I literally will focus on the weight management part only, and I'll forget that it's a walking practice that gets me there. It's a nutrition practice that gets me there. It's a blah, 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 blah that gets me there. It's a sleep and rest and self care practice that gets me there. So I want to just, it will come. What I'm focused now is on the um, walking practice. So I did feel a little bit of resistance also, and I say that much and then move on about why am I doing this publicly? Like, I'm a very private person, and those who know me know that. Like, I only share minimum. Like, most people are in a need to know with me. Like, I don't see the need. Now, it could be the Capricorn in me. I am a Capricorn. Or it could, well, I am not a Capricorn, but this body came through the Capricorn stage of life and is moving in that direction. And as a result, sometimes I'm like, you don't need to know this. Like even people that are close to me, I'm like, you don't, I operate a need to know. So for me to be doing this online, sharing all that is a very new thing. I've done similar, but not at this level. Uh, the other stuff I've done was more like teaching. By the way, I did put out some of the older videos. They may not be there forever. So if you go to my old archived legacy YouTube and okay, I told myself I was not teach anyway. Um, and check out some of the videos there, and also it gives you background onto as to who I am, or I've become, or where I was back in 2013, 2014. Uh, I want to say the, that particular YouTube channel started in 2014. All right, I think that's it. I want to go ahead and stop. Otherwise, I'll keep sharing outside of what this purpose is. So what's next? Continue walking. So that's what I told myself on day 7. Keep going. Continue documenting, even though I don't really feel like it. Maybe later on the reason will come. I'll be clear about why I'm sharing this publicly. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep understanding at a deeper level, the next layer that I'm at now, as to what's really going on. So that's it. Thank you for watching. This is Ermina signing out, and I will see you next time.